Okay, it is 7:30. I'm going to call the City of Groton Mayor and Council meeting for Monday, May 2nd to order. President, Mayor Keith Hedrick, Deputy Mayor Guinevere Depot, Councilor Rashad Carter, Councilor Lisa McCabe, Councilor Paul Norris, Councilor Christine Piazza, and Councilor Stephen Sheffield are all here. So we will stand and salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Recognitions, awards, and memorials. I have two. The first one is Drinking Water Week. So from the Office of, absolutely, everybody, lift your glass. From the Office of the Mayor's proclamation, Drinking Water Week, whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas drinking water serves a vital role in daily life, serving an essential purpose to health, hydration, and hygiene needs for the quality of life our citizens enjoy, and whereas tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and quality of life we enjoy, and whereas the hard work performed by the entire water sector designing capital projects, operators ensuring the safety and quality of drinking water, or a member of pipe crew maintaining the infrastructure communities rely on to transport high-quality drinking water from its source to consumers' taps, and whereas the coronavirus pandemic has shone a light on the importance of drinking water for health, hydration, and hygiene needs, and whereas we're all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which current and future generations depend, and whereas the citizens of our city are called upon to help protect our water sources from pollution, practice water conservation, and get involved with their water by familiarizing themselves with it. Now therefore, be it resolved that by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of our city, I do hereby proclaim May 1 through 7, 2022 as Drinking Water Week, dated the City of Groton, Connecticut, the second day of May 2022. So that's Drinking Water Week. You'll see additional information on Facebook and on our website regarding Drinking Water Week and some other things, so that's good. We just finished building a $54 million plant for drinking water, so I will give you additional information when we have the ribbon cutting, so that you will all be invited to the ribbon cutting. The second proclamation that we have is Economic Development Week. So from the Office of the Mayor, proclamation, Economic Development Week, whereas the International Economic Development Council is the largest professional economic development organization dedicated to serving economic developers, and whereas the International Economic Development Council provides leadership and excellence in economic development for communities, members, and partners through conferences, training courses, advisory services, and research, in-depth publications, public policy advocacy, and initiatives such as the Accredited Economic Development Organization Program, the Certified Economic Developer Designation, and the Entrepreneurship Development Professional. And whereas economic developers promote economic well-being and quality of life for their communities by creating, retaining, and expanding jobs that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base. And whereas economic developers stimulate and incubate entrepreneurism in order to help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is the hallmark of American economy. And whereas economic developers are engaged in a wide variety of settings, including rural and urban, local, state, provincial, and federal governments, private partnerships, chambers of commerce, universities, and a variety of other institutions. And whereas economic developers attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions. And whereas economic developers work in the City of Groton within the state of Connecticut. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Groton, Connecticut recognizes the week of 9 May through May 13th, 2022 as Economic Development Week, and remind individuals of the importance of this community celebration, which supports expanding career opportunities and making lives better. Dated at the City of Groton, Connecticut, the second day of May 2022, signed Mayor Keith Hedrick. So those are the two proclamations that I have for today. Are there any recognitions, awards, or memorials that the council would like to bring up? Okay, moving on. Receipt of citizens' petitions. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, we will skip response to citizens' petitions, comments, and then we'll go to approval of the minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the mayor and council minutes of April 4th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. I'll accept a motion for the committee of the whole for April 11th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. I'll take a motion to approve the committee of the whole minutes for April 18th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. And I'll take a motion to accept the committee of the whole minutes for April 25th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay, communications and reports. Counselor Norris.
None, Your Honor.
Okay, Counselor McKay.
No report, sir.
Counselor Sheffield.
Attended the Groton Town budget meeting regarding the city highway budget. And again, thanking the town of Groton for setting aside that 1.4 million towards the seawall. It was something that was kind of unexpected. I didn't see that coming. It wasn't part of our discussion in the 3-on-3, so that was nice to hear. And secondly, attended the Easter egg hunt, which was nice. I hadn't been back for a few years, so good to see the kids have a great time. It was a great day out there with the mayor. And then after that, the pop-up farmer's market. Picked up some seafood at JR Scallops, so it was good. It was a good time.
Okay.
And that's all.
Okay, good. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually attended the Groton City Cleanup Day with one of my children
Yep.
and my 2 grandchildren, and they really got into it, and we collected quite a bit of trash. I was actually surprised how much trash there is as you go down Smith Street along the parking lots.
Right.
So I'll chat with you later. And then I also
Okay.
went to the opening of the Little League ceremony, and that was really good. Saw a lot of people that I knew there, so that was nice to see. And a lot of the new kids, I ran to a couple parents. Their child is just starting Little League this year, so they're very excited about it. And I did not go to the Easter egg hunt, but our company, STA in Groton, we actually do things for Christmas and Easter, mostly for the kids amongst all the employees there. And so we actually did in Washington Park, so we're thankful for Groton City allowing us to use Washington Park. And also the municipal building, we come in here and then we decorate cookies and cupcakes, so it's a nice place for the kids to come and do some extra stuff. So we want to thank you for that. We appreciate that. It was
Okay.
wonderful.
Thanks. Counselor Carter.
I didn't attend anything, but I guess I would just like to formally thank the city in honoring a couple community members that have done good for its constituents, and not necessarily residents of Groton City, but members that have contributed to Groton City. So I know recently there was Washington Park, and then there was Ted Hesper that also was honored. Mr. Bidwell and Mr. Hesper, so I appreciate the city in having a hand in that.
Absolutely. They were instrumental in programs that are held here in the city of Groton. So it was good to recognize them. All right. And Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. On April 16th, I also attended the farmer's market. Still, we have such good attendance in the off-season for that, which is really nice. I'm excited because I know we got a new market master, so I'm excited to see what changes and new things. I feel like every summer we kind of do a little more, something different, so keep an eye out and definitely keep attending those, because those vendors too really appreciate having a space to go. I know I've talked to a couple of the vendors, and they really appreciate us for continuing to do it in the winter, for some of them. I also volunteered at the food box distribution on April 22nd. I think I delivered 9 boxes this time, so I do have a few more people have contacted us to get delivery that I've kind of tacked onto the list. So if you need food delivered, please let us know. It only takes a few minutes. I just pack it all in my truck and we deliver it, so. And then on April 28th at 6 a.m., I attended the Workers' Memorial. It happens every year on April 28th at Washington Park. I was just telling someone, actually, I didn't even know it was there until I attended the Workers' Memorial. But up past like where the playground is and stuff, there's a memorial for people who have died from an accident at work or an illness obtained on the job. And going on, once a year, people whose coworkers are in that memorial attend, and union officials, and it's just a really nice way to acknowledge people's service, and then also promote workplace safety, because that's a big topic. And yeah, it's a good thing. I would encourage anyone to go hear the speeches. We don't always have the best weather. It was very cold, but we all survived. It's fine. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I gave you a couple things. One, there was a question about PACT membership, so I took this out of our boards and commissions and committees, which is online. And then the second packet of information I gave you came from Joe Summers to talk. This is his monthly report that he provides to me with the metrics that he has, and shows the numbers of permits and the value of the permits and things like that. The last page, you can see that FY '20 and '21 shot up, FY '22's back down. FY '23, he's forecasting $1 million, I think. I don't remember. Well, it's in the budget. So, but he is forecasting a number that is coming down. And the information, I received some information last week that Electric Boat is going to apply for the enterprise region exception, which basically, instead of it coming on the grand list 100%, it'll come in, it'll take 5 years to get to 100%. So next year, it goes on the grand list, and then it will impact 2 fiscal years later, and then it will initially impact at 20% of that value, and then go to 40, 60, 80, and 100%. So it'll take us 5 years to get there. That's the V that I've been talking about. Revenues are coming down, and the grand list is gonna go up, but it's gonna go up gradually. And that's why we've taken the fiscal approach that we've taken, so that we could either keep the taxes flat or minimize the increase on the taxes, and that's why we've taken this approach that we've done. I also passed out the section of planning with the budget. That'll be the replacement in your budget book. That'll answer one of the questions that has come up during the budget. And then I'm gonna turn it over to Ron and let him talk real quick about the other questions from the budget, and then we have a chief here if we need him.
So a couple of the questions that were open when we left a couple of department sessions, one of them was on the wages in the fire budget. When we look back at the 2022 budget, it was just an allocation, was incorrect, and should I flip to that page there? I believe it was 251,000 should have been the captain's pay, and other ones were just allocated incorrectly. The total budget amount was right, it was just the way that it was allocated between the different levels.
Yeah, that's on page 62 of your budget.
So, and then when you look at the total wages was a 5% increase, even though that line had a significant one. And then going through it with the chief today, there's also, was it one of the stipends was or the acting captain pay is also put in there. That was something that was previously unbudgeted prior to 2022. So if a captain's out and somebody steps up to the captain, there's an acting piece in there as well. So those are just a couple of things that were included in there for clarification. The other one was the human resource with the projected or the estimated 2022. That was just a couple of different things that were in there, which created that number to appear to be higher than budget, if you recall. And that was based on the calculation to get to year end from that point in time. Plus, there was a little bit of overtime that was included in that estimated number. It didn't go to the part-time wages, it went to full-time, so that was included in that calculation, along with a part-time individual that went into that full-time. So it was just truly, when it got picked up, when Linda was doing that calculation to project it forward, she picked all that pieces up and then moved it forward. So that number won't be that high as far as the estimate goes. It was just truly the way that it was calculated out. And then, as the mayor pointed out, the other thing was the planning and zoning, the estimates for 2022. They matched the budget amounts. Those were updated in the handouts, get handed out today.
Right. And so it was a level, this whole budget was a level services budget that I had asked for from the department heads. So I think that's all the questions, I think, but if not, let me know and we will address them. The next thing budget-wise is next week you guys have committee meetings, and on May 16th, City Council approves the budget. So that'll be there'll be a resolution on the 16th to approve the budget, then on May 23rd, the budget must be published, and then June 6th is the annual budget meeting. And then this Wednesday, we will go, let me define we, police and roads and highways, and Ron and I will go to the RTM and present to the RTM for that. So, and that's that. Go ahead, Ron, I'm sorry.
And just one more thing that I wanted to point out, we did receive today the new grand list after Board of Assessment Appeals. There was a decrease of approximately 6 million. Some of that was already countered into taking into this budget, knowing with conversations with Mary. And it appears at this point that the mill rate still will be the 3.67 that was proposed, based on some of the factors that we took into account when we built the budget, kind of knowing up front. But I just wanted to let you know that we did finally receive that, and it is being looked at.
So if that changes, which I don't think it will, but if it does change, then we will let you know. I will get out an email ahead of this so that you're not surprised. I don't intend to give you a surprise on the 23rd. Not 23rd, right? 16th? On the 16th, you're right. It's got to be posted on 23rd. 16th is when it will come to you. So I do not intend to give you any surprises then. I would like to get a consensus on, are you guys okay with the budget now, or are you looking to facilitate changes to the budget so that Ron and I can be thinking about that? Deputy Mayor Depot.
Would it be appropriate to email you so that
Yes,
if we have another question because I'm assuming not all the staff is going to come for us to approve
No.
the budget, but if
No.
there's one in particular that we want
Yep.
more details on,
Absolutely.
just email.
email me,
Okay.
and you can include the other counselors, but you can email me. If you get included on the email, do not respond to all, right? Because I do not want to get accidentally into having a meeting. So the way you get into trouble is if you start going back and forth in emails, and that's discussion outside of the public's view that has not been noticed, and so that's why you don't want to respond to all. But I want to make sure all the counselors know what questions are out there. Deputy Mayor Deep.
Just to clarify, I figured I would, if I have an inquiry, would say, on page such and such, can you have the relevant staff available to discuss
Right.
that page, or whatever?
That's
That work?
appropriate. Yes, ma'am. That will work. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move on to committee referrals. Are there any committee referrals? Deputy Mayor Depot.
I guess I could have said this under communications and reports. I had a couple residents inquire about buying beach passes online, and I know that there's been some complication with it. So is that something we could refer to maybe the Beach and Parks Committee to see if there's a feasible way to make that happen? We do a lot of purchases online between us and permitting and the utility. But yeah, because I think the notice got posted last week that passes are on sale, and then a couple people sent me messages asking why they can't buy them online this year, because we did last year.
And that is something that I am still looking at about whether or not we're gonna be able to do that this year.
Oh, okay.
But nope, it'll get referred.
I think one of the reasons we did last year was, or I believe, if she's not here, is because of the previous year, we did residents only.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you have to bring your registration.
The last 2 years, we've allowed online. I recognize the challenges. One of the challenges is that you gotta send in a registration and you gotta send in your license. And based on that, you fall into one or two one of several categories. Sometimes the address doesn't match, and that gets complicated, and then you gotta fill out an envelope and put that in there and all that. I get that. One of the things that I am committed to, and have been since I got here, was getting us to point of sale and getting us to online processes and electronic processes. And I want us to evaluate if there's a way to do this. I think there may be. I think right now it is, as it was explained to me, it is onerous and it's pain to do. Now, so my question is, can we find another way to do it? I just want us to thoroughly evaluate it, and if we can get to electronic, then I would like us to do that. So, go ahead.
So I just think being a part of the committee for
Yeah.
a while, I know it, because it comes up, and that would be inherently, I mean, it's 2022, you'd say, yeah, right?
Yeah.
But when you get into that, you have to look at, there's cost to that, with systems,
Yep.
and that's a seasonal thing with the very small amount of, really people buying beach passes. Like,
Right.
you look at the worth and whatnot, somebody like the utilities,
Yep,
it's
got
a
it.
monthly thing, so.
Yep,
more
I
than
got
that.
it.
Okay,
I
all right.
understand, I do,
Okay, all right.
I understand the issues surrounding it. I just want to make sure that we have
Try to
done our due
discuss.
diligence on this. I do not mean to imply by my comments that staff's not doing everything they should be doing. I want us to take a look and we have other people that might be able to help. Sue and IT may be able to help. Tina Daniels may be able to help with customer service. There may be other programs out there that we're not aware. That's all I'm saying. The other thing that I'm sorry, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Depot.
I was just thinking, because I think a lot of the problems are probably getting the accurate information from people to the staff, because that's probably time consuming. Well, the staff has to examine it and make sure it matches and stuff. That's probably the time consuming part. Well, one of the things. Would it be possible to maybe see if economic development, since they're working on branding and all of that stuff, might be able to help Beach and Parks formulate a way? I mean, we're already paying them to consult in economic development.
Sure.
But I think that part of our economic development in the city is using our assets to their fullest extent. And
Sure.
if the consultants could maybe give us ideas for how to make that easier on the staff, like maybe they have experience with forms
Yeah.
and maybe doing the right forms for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe they would have some ideas that would help.
People will pay a premium to do it online, so they don't have to stand out here in line. And I just want us to take a look at that. Also, down at the beach, we still handle a lot of cash for same-day sales. I would like to get the point of sale I don't like cash. It's, at a minimum, it's dirty, but the other part of that is there's a risk involved with handling cash. And I've made a commitment from the beginning to go to electronic everything as much as we can. And we're not quite there yet in all the places, but we're gonna continue to make strides. A lot of places we just went to electronic permitting and, thank you, in building. We still have some hurdles with that, because some people wanna come in and, hey, I wanna pay cash. And if they wanna do that, we should be able to handle that as well. The other thing is that there was a comment on Facebook, and I don't always respond on the Facebook issues, but there was a question about military and should they get a reduced value on that. If, I don't know what happened in the meetings, if that was brought up and discussed, but I know when I pulled up the rules and our values for the permits, that there's no differentiation on the military. So I'm gonna talk to Mary about that as well.
That's been discussed, and I don't want to, again, speak for Mary, but are we sure that it's not the same as seniors? Or, because I know we discussed, it's,
Well, I thought we were looking at
because
that
it has been
direction.
discussed. It has been
Understand.
discussed, yeah, okay, but I'll bring that to them.
Okay, and I will ask Mary. Today was very hectic, and I did not get a chance to talk to Mary about that, or I would have ahead of time. But I'll talk to her about it tomorrow. Okay, anything else on committee referrals? All right, so going into new business, so what I want to do is, I want to do 63 and 64 first. That way I can get Ron out of here, and then we'll just step through all the others. So, Counselor Norris, if you will take Resolution R-22-05-63.
Yes, Your Honor. Therefore, be resolved that the mayor and council approve the transfer of $14,614.76 to the tax collector suspense tax book. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ron, do you want to provide discussion?
Yep, I handed this out on last week's meeting. For your information, I kind of come in right before that meeting, so I wanted to get it to you in your packet. And this is just the annual recommended transfers to the suspense listing from the tax collector. What these are, it doesn't make these taxes uncollectible. It's just amounts that they've tried to collect and they just haven't had luck, whether it's personal property for a business that's no longer in business. But you'll see the majority, if you did look through the list, are motor vehicles where people either moved out of state or are deceased and those type of things. So it's just their recommendation to move it to the suspense. It cleans up their active collections are still collectible. If you had looked on the very last page, you'll actually see that we're moving to suspense a larger amount than the actual, because they did receive a payment since his recommendation was of the 2452. So we still do collect some of these taxes, but they've had a hard time trying to locate, and it's just a cleanup, and it's just done annually.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor McCabe, R-22-05-64.
Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council initially approve an ordinance authorizing the mayor and council to approve increases to retirees' pensions up to and including those who retired in 2018 as recommended by the City of Groton Retirement Board. I so move.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. If you are looking at this resolution and saying, this looks awful familiar, it is. And the reason I'm bringing it back to you is because in the process of turnover, it's slipped through the cracks. The page 10, section 15, under ordinances, talk about ordinances to become effective shall be presented in writing, in written or printed form, and shall be approved by the regular meeting of the mayor or councilor, and within 7 days thereafter, be published in accordance with Connecticut general statutes, and copies of said proposed ordinance or ordinances shall be made available to the electors and qualified city at the offices of the city clerk. And, you know, there's some other stuff in there, but that's the part that applies. So what happened was, we did the initial reading, and then I did not get it posted. So as a result, we're back. We talked to the attorney on Friday and said, where do we go? Do we need to start fresh? Because I don't want to violate CGS. I don't want to violate the charter. I took an oath. And the recommendation was to read it again for the initial reading. So that's why it's back. Councilor McCabe.
Is that why it says initially approve? That wording was a little odd to
Right.
me.
So when you do an ordinance, you do the initial reading
Okay,
and initial approval by the council. And then what's supposed to happen is it goes into the paper, it gets published, people have the opportunity to come and read it here if they
Gotcha.
want to. And then it comes back to the council for a final reading, final approval by the council.
Okay.
That's what you will see next, Ron?
Right, and that's what brought that up, is that this meeting would have been the final reading,
Okay.
except during that process is when we realized that it didn't get posted, so we just, so let's just, and it's not effective until July 1, so there was time, it wasn't emergent. So we just said, let's just start over,
okay.
do it the right way.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ron sent it to me and said, did we publish this? I said, I don't know. Let me reach out. So I reached out and the answer was no.
Okay.
And so that's why we're reading it for the initial, that's why we're having the initial reading for the second time. Okay,
Initially.
any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Depot, R-22-05-47.
Thank you, Mayor. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the appointment of Edward Jacombs, 64 Round Hill Road, Groton, Connecticut, as the city clerk with a start date of May 16th, 2022. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Sheffield.
Does the city clerk need to be sworn?
I will swear them in on the morning. I have, one of the last things I got Megan to do for me was to print out the oath. I have the oath set aside, and he will be sworn in first thing on that Monday morning. So he will be an official city clerk when you see him that evening in the 16th.
I wasn't sure if he was gonna be sworn in here and have cake after.
Well, the reason, so
Yeah, he's looking for cake.
that's a very good question. So one of the things we wrestled with internally with staff was, do we make it effective today? He said he didn't want to start till the 16th. So that's it, because he just finished legislative session, right? So he wants a little bit of time off. And I didn't want it to, and the reason I asked Noemi to put the 16th in there is so that there's no ambiguity of when he starts, right? That way people can say, well, you know, they authorize it on the second, why is he not the clerk? Or is he really the clerk and he's the clerk in waiting, or, you know, that kind of thing. So that's why I put the 16th in there. Does that address your, okay. Counselor Piazza?
No, I'm all
What?
set. Thank
Sorry, I
you.
thought I saw a hand.
Nope.
I got a question.
Counselor Carter?
Is the new clerk, is he sworn into our, for 3 years, or is it the next,
Yes. So
the next election?
what the charter says, that's a good question. So, Article 5, Mayor and Council, Section 4, Vacancies in Elective Office. If for any, that's the mayor. Should a vacancy occur in the office of councilor or city clerk, an elector of the city shall be chosen by a majority vote of the council to serve in such office until the next regular election. So he will serve out the rest of the term, and then he will decide then if he's running for the next term. But
Okay,
he will finish out this term, yes, sir, which is a 4-year term for the clerk.
yeah, that's
Council
what,
and mayor have a 2-year term.
yep. That's what, yeah, okay.
Did that address your question?
That was just my question, because I didn't know if we had to say it or not in here, but it was almost unclear, but I see you have the charter says it all, so
Okay.
it makes sense.
All right,
I just didn't know if he was gonna have to rerun again, or if he was, so
No.
you're saying that he
he will serve out the rest of the term.
term, and
Yes,
then
sir.
he would have to do it normally.
Absolutely, just like
Yep,
all of us
yep,
will.
yep.
Okay, any other questions or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Sheffield.
Resolution R-22-05-48. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve a donation of $1,000 and no cents to the Groton Mystic Falcons Youth Football League, Groton, Connecticut. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-05-49. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council accept a donation from Harbor Freight, P.O. Box 6010, Camarillo, California, in the amount of $400.00 for the purchase of a rolling toolbox for the City of Groton Fire Department. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Carter.
Thanks. R-22-05-50. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the fire department to purchase one model year 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe from Northwest Hills Automotive LLC, 2065 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut, for a cost of $39,192.40, and a radio light package from J&S Radio Sales, 1147 Main Street, Willamette, Connecticut, for the cost of $19,001.
Ooh, that should be $100.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Want
That's
me
a
to read
typo.
$100?
Yes,
Say
please.
$100 and no cents for a cost of. No, I was just, all right, let me,
Okay.
all right, for a total cost of $58,292.40 to be paid from the Capital Reserves Fund. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll correct that.
I was laughing because you guys know how I talk, because I didn't know if it was me or if it was
No,
something.
no, that was a good catch on your, that was a good catch on your part. No, I mean, we'll just correct that. We can do that as an admin. So we have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Norris.
Resolution R-22-05-51. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the fire department to purchase one model year 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe from Northwest Hills Automotive LLC, 2065 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut, for a cost of $39,760.00, and a radio and light package from J&S Radio Sales, 1147 Main Street, Willamette, Connecticut, for a cost of $14,035.00, for a total cost of $53,795.00 to be paid from the Capital Reserve Fund. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor McCabe.
Resolution R-22-5-52. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council waive the bid process and provisionally authorize and approve the City of Groton Public Works Department to enter into a contract with Trimble Incorporated, P.O. Box 203558, Dallas, Texas, for a design of a comprehensive GIS database to store the city's stormwater infrastructure inventory for a cost not to exceed $24,748.90, to be paid from the approved fiscal year 2022 highway operating funds. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-05-53. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council provisionally authorize, Mayor Keith Hedrick, I should say, right? To enter into a contract with Miranda Creatives 18 Elm Avenue, Norwich, Connecticut, for Phase 2 of 2 creative services and vendor coordination in the implementation of recommendations identified in the 2019 brand workshop for a total cost of $27,250.00 to be paid from contributions from the City of Groton Economic Development Department fiscal year 2022 operating budget in the amount of $12,250.00 and Groton Utilities Community Outreach in the amount of $15,000.00. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Sheffield.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-05-54. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the adoption of the revised City of Groton Economic Development Grant Program Policy and Procedures to be effective on the date of May 9th, 2022. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-05-55. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to enter into a 3-year contract with option for 2-year renewal to purchase tree trimming services from Lewis Tree Service Incorporated, 300 Lucius Gordon Drive, West Henrietta, New York, for an amount not to exceed $548,457.60, with an approximate increase of 4% in year 2 and approximate increase of 3% in year 3 to be paid from electric operating funds in the proposed fiscal year 2023 budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Carter.
R-22-05-56. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Bosra Light and Power Management to enter in a 3-year contract with option for 2-year renewal to purchase tree trimming services from Lewis Tree Service Incorporated, 300 Lucius Gordon Drive, West Henrietta, New York, for an amount not to exceed $548,457.60, with the approximate increase of 4% in year 2 and approximate increase of 3% in year 3 to be paid from electric operation funds in the proposed fiscal year 2023 budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. So this is not deja vu. This is, we spend the same amount on tree trimming services in Bosra as we do in Groton Utilities. We just had a Bosra Utility Commission meeting last week, and it was approved by the Utility Commission, so that's why this is being moved. And the reason I didn't bring it in front of the committee of the whole is because it had been discussed about the tree trimming before, and I assumed this was an easy leap for the council. Is there any further discussion on this? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. Where am I? Counselor Norris.
Resolution R-22-05-57. Therefore, may be resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to D&D Power, 500 Columbia Drive, Suite 100, West Palm Beach, Florida, not to exceed $453,802.00, which includes a 10% contingency to complete the conductoring and pole replacement on Military Highway to be paid from the fiscal year 16 Electric Capital Bond Fund. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor McCabe.
Resolution R-22-5-58. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to PAR Electric, 55 Cornu Way, South Windsor, Connecticut, not to exceed $2,525,527.65, which includes a 25% contingency for the installation of the 400, 1410, and 1280 transmission lines reconductoring to be paid by the transmission line 1410/1280/400 Buddington Substation Fiscal Year 2022 Bond Fund Project. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-5-59. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Burns and McDonnell, 108 Legis Road, Suite 1100, Wallingford, Connecticut, not to exceed $160,215.00, which includes a 10% contingency to provide construction oversight support of the transmission lines to be paid by the transmission line 1410/1280/400/Buddington Substation Fiscal Year 2022 Bond Fund Project. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed in committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Counselor Sheffield.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-05-60. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Granite Inliner Solutions, 195A Norridge Work Road, Fairfield, Maine, not to exceed $442,618.00, which includes a 10% contingency to provide all labor, materials, and equipment for installation of cured-in-place pipe, CIPP, sewer lining, to be paid by the fiscal year 22 wastewater bond fund program. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-22-05-61. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Trimble Incorporated, P.O. Box 203558, Dallas, Texas, for an amount not to exceed $290,843.05 for computer maintenance management system service agreements for water and wastewater divisions to be paid from the fiscal year 2023 water and wastewater non-bonded capital budgets. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Counselor Carter.
We're at 62, correct?
Yes, sir.
R-22-05-62. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue purchase order for Azteca Systems LLC City Works, 11075 State Street, Suite 24, Sandy, Utah, for the amount not to exceed $47,500.00 for 1 year of a 3-year agreement for City Works Online Server to be paid from proposed fiscal year 2023 operating budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay, I will take a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.